Hello guys, I'm Alexander Samuel and I'll be walking you guys through how to create a Github bot. So um, first we have to know what's a Github bot, why is it important to create a Github bot, and what are Github bots used for. Okay, it's over here. So what is Github bot? So Github bot is an application that stores information on GitHub using GitHub webhooks and APIs. So it actually makes use of the webhooks. It runs automatically and makes use of the webhooks and also APIs. So what are webhooks? So it's said over here. So webhooks, they are also called a web callback or HTTP push. So it's a way for an app to provide other application with real-time information. So if I have an app and I want you to make use information of that my app in your own application. What do I need? I need a webhook URL. So webhooks provides you a real-time information, that this real-time data. Immediately I post it on my application, your application also gets that. So that is the main work of a webhook. So what are APIs? So APIs are acronym for application programming interface. So which is a software intermediary that allows two applications to talk to each other. So if I have an application and you want to connect your application with mine, so you need an API to do that for you. So we're actually going to make use of API because we want to be talking with GitHub. We want our applications to make use of GitHub. So that's cool. So creating a GitHub bot, we need a probot, we need a GitHub app, and also speed.io. So what actually is the probot? So let's head into the documentation of probot to get more information about that. So the probot is like it's built for GitHub, creating GitHub bots. So the probot is built with JavaScript. It helps and makes it very easy for you to create a GitHub bot. You can actually use a lot of cool stuff creating that, but the probot is very easy, and probot is created with JavaScript. So I love JavaScript a lot. I'm going with JavaScript. So we're gonna add on and see how we make use of probots. Okay, so actually talking about GitHub apps. So what are GitHub apps? So let's also add on to documentation and get more information about GitHub apps. Okay, cool. Just a moment. Okay, so let's get to know more about GitHub apps. So GitHub apps in essence helps you to manage, your APIs, GitHub APIs. So GitHub has tons and tons of APIs, so it will be difficult for you to manage them. So the GitHub apps helps you manage the APIs. Then your bot talks to your GitHub app. So I'm gonna walk you through on how to do that. So let's just make sure we get to know the basics of what we're doing. That sme.io is actually created, product actually created sme.io. So sme.io gives you just the basic webhooks, because webhooks, like we said, they helps you get real-time data from a particular application to another application. So we're gonna be making use of the webhooks, and sme.io gives us just like a basic webhooks that we can use while we are creating our GitHub app. So let's move on and see what's next. Okay, let's head on to my VS Code. You should be using maybe another text editor. So for me, I'm making use of VS Code. I love VS Code a lot. So what you need to do is for you to create a basic probot, like I told you, we will make use of probot. You have their basic CLI, which is this. Okay, let's head over to their documentation to get more information about that. Okay, just a moment. Yeah, so generating a new app and products. So what you actually need, you have the CLI that helps you generate very easy apps, basic product apps. So you can just copy these. Okay, let's just head on over to these and copy these, which is npm create product. Okay, just head over to our VS Code. You can just place it down here in the terminal. So when you run these, to create this basic folder for you, because I'm not going to run it because I did it before, so it created this basic folder for me. So if you're actually doing it for the first time, you have to create a new folder and also try to run this, on the terminal. So when you run this on the terminal, create this basic information. So it's to access some basic stuff like, are you using JavaScript to do this? What's the name of the app? So those are basic stuff. So when you run it, it will generate. So you don't have to worry about this. It will generate this for you. Okay, quickly. So it will generate some basic folders for you, the node modules, the tests, and the main important one here is .env example. So actually we need to create our .env file. So what the .env file helps you do is that .env files helps you to get, that is where you put in your app ID. You can see the specified here, your webhook script, your webhook policy URL. So we're gonna get over this and also to create a basic index file for you. So what happens here is when you run this creates probot app, what it does is to generate this for you. So you'll actually be talking with our GitHub. Like I said, we want to create a particular issue. So what we'll be doing here is when you create a particular issue on GitHub, which will send you a comment. So the bots will do what? Will send you a comment. I'm learning awesome stuff in ML fellowship. So that is what it will do. So we can actually try that. So before we head on and do any other thing, let's head on to GitHub and see how we can remember. We said we've been using a GitHub app. So if you've never created a GitHub app before, let's try that out and see how it works. So creating a GitHub apps, you have to be an administrator of your account, or if you're trying to use an organization account, you need full access to do that. So, okay, if you are using a personal account, you can just come here. So I'll be using my personal account for this. So just head over to GitHub. So come down here, you see settings. So you click on settings. So when you click on settings, then you come down to this part, developer settings. So you can see we have GitHub apps. So I'm going to be creating a new GitHub apps here. So create a new GitHub apps. Okay, first we need a GitHub name. So you just have to create a name for that. Okay, just a moment. We'll create a name for that. Okay, let's try. Let's do this, bro. Charts. Let's just use any. You can actually put in any name there. You can actually do everything. So okay, let's just put basic keys. Okay. Let's add on by here. So our page URL, so it's required. So actually, what you need this page URL is you can actually customize your home page URL when someone wants to install your GitHub apps. This is what will appear to them. So since I don't have, so you can actually using this sme.io. Like I said, sme.io gives us a basic webhooks that we can use while we are trying, maybe while we need a webhook, so trying to create a GitHub box. Okay, let's put this. You click it, you can see it actually gives you this. So you copy this webhook and head back to this part. So you can just put this here. But if you have a home page URL, maybe you customize it, you can put it down here so that whenever anybody wants to install your app, it will direct them to this home page. Then this callback, what the callback is used for is after installing your apps, where you should direct them to. So we actually don't need this, this is optional. So get back, also this we can put in our webhooks that we got from sleep.io. Can also do coding here because it's required. We need to show our webhook secrets. So you actually create a webhook secret. Let me say development. So you do this, you come down. So the interesting part is the repository permission. So GitHub has tons of APIs, like I said. So you can, whenever you need any actions, if you need GitHub actions, you can actually grant access to that. But we'll not be needing this now. We just need access for our issue. That is what we need. So what we, like I said, what we're trying to do is to get a comment, and whenever you maybe you create an issue on GitHub, it sends in a basic comment there. So what the bot does is to send you a comment, whichsoever created issue or created an issue on GitHub. So that is what we're going to grant access for. So GitHub has tons of APIs, like I said. So what I need is just to grant access to these GitHub issues, which is the read and write access. So if you actually need, maybe like you, whenever somebody leaves a PRU and you want to get the details of that PRU, you can also grant access to that, which is this PRU. You just come here and you put in read and write. So I'm not actually using PRUs, I'm actually using issues. That is why I grant. You can see it here that grant only read and write access to that. Okay, I said that is what we need for now. Okay, so let's add on to the other parts. So we don't need these for now since I don't need this permission. These are APIs. So also subscribe our events to issues because we're just trying to get the basic issues. So we also click this. This is what we need for now. So you head over to this section. So it's actually asks you where can this GitHub app be installed. So is it on this personal account or on any account? So since it's just for development purpose, I'll just click on for only on this account. So let me create app. Let's see what happens. Cool. So now we have our app now. So when you create a new app on GitHub, you have your app ID and you have your client ID. So what actually we need our app ID. So you can just copy this for now. Copy your app ID because we actually need it when we are working with our VS Code. So you come down to this part. So what's is actually here display information. So you can actually upload a video and a picture rather. So whenever your bot wants to make a comment, that picture we have here. So it's optional, it's not compulsory, so we're not gonna be doing that. So the main important thing is for us to generate the private key. So you can just come here, you click whenever you create a GitHub, you generate this private key because you're gonna need it. Okay, you press create. So it's actually try to save that to desktop. So cool. We have that saved here. So you click on save. So actually save that. Cool. So now let's head on to our VS Code. So since we have done that now, so what we need to do is to now create our .env. You can see when you run create probots apps, it tells you to create also this basic .env example. So when you open it, this example tells you how you also need to create your own .env, which is environment variable. So we have to do that. From here, you create your basic .env file, which is .env, which is cool. So after that, you come here to their own example. You just have to copy this, copy it, and paste it on your own. So what you need your app ID, you need your webhook secret, and also webhook proxy URL. So these are comments that's unnecessary. You can remove this comment. Okay. So what we need basically is webhook secret, we need app ID, and also webhook proxy URL. So this URL is the one we got from Smith. So you just head over to Smith.io. Yeah, okay. So Smith is actually connected, which if you go back to your GitHub, you can actually find out here. Okay, this is it. You copy this from your webhook URL, you copy this, and you add back to your group. You add to this and paste it here. So this is it. So our webhook, you can actually remove this for now. Remove this. So what we need is just the webhook secret and also the webhook fuzzy URL. So this is the secret development and the fuzzy URL is this. So now let's try to run it. So before you run, you add on to the package.json. So the package.json has a script, yeah, it tells you start. So when you run npm starts, it will run webhook run and run this index file for you. So let's try that and see. npm start. You can also run npm test. So this will also run the test because when you create a basic products folder, it will create this test folder for you. You can actually run the test. So it's making suggest. So let's try and run our npm start and let's see what happens. Cool. Start. Okay. Okay. case like we want the not command npm starts. Let's see. Cool. So npm starts. So to run this for you. Okay. Run this for you. So we run it. You can see. Cool. You have your local host, which is 3000. So you can just copy this local host, copy it, and you come to your browser. Try to run for browser. Try to open this local host and see. Cool. So this is created for you with probot, so you don't have to create these. So when you run create probot apps, it will come and create this landing page for you. So you can see two options here. It says register GitHub app and use an existing GitHub app. Remember, we've already created our GitHub app, so we don't have to do this. We don't have to like use an existing. We don't have to create a new GitHub app. So we just have to head up to this part. It says use an existing GitHub app. So let's click on that. So first you get your app ID. Like I said, you can get your app ID from the GitHub. When you head over to GitHub apps that you've created, you see your app ID up here. You just take this, come back to this first, come back here and paste it here. So the webhook secret, remember the webhook secret was development. Let's add that to GitHub back. In case you forgot your webhook secret, you can come here back and click on edit. You see it. You can copy this and you come back. Save, you can save though, we made the changes, so you can save and go up. Please. This is here. So after this, asking for a private key. Remember on GitHub, we actually generated a private key, which I said the other time, actually save it to our computer. So you can also get that private key from your computer. Let's go. You can click and choose. Click and choose, it takes you down. So remember, this is it. So this is the basic private key we created after installing or after creating our GitHub apps. So anytime you create your GitHub apps, you actually click on create private key. So you click that, open, and you click on submit. Ooh, submit your apps for you. Fine. So after that, then we go back to GitHub. Yeah, you go back to GitHub. Fine. So you go back to install app. So you have to install your app. So our app is not yet installed. So what you do is to install the app. Now our app is ready. We've connected our GitHub apps with probot. So you have to install it on this particular account. So if you choose the option that allows everybody to install your GitHub, anybody who have access to these GitHub apps can actually install it. But since I choose the option of this account only, I'm the only one that can install it. So this is just for development purpose. So after taking to this part and to give me two options, do I want to install this apps on all my repository, or do I have a selected one that I want to install it? So I click on only select repositories. Just go down and choose one repository. Okay, let me choose this assignments repository, but you can actually choose the aspect of allowing it to be installed on all repository. But since it's just for development purpose, you can just do it for now to work with only this repository, which is assignment on my GitHub. So class. So you can see it's showing you read access to metadata, read and write access to issue. Okay, so that's the only API you'll be calling. So you click on installing it. Cool. Done. So after installation, it will redirect you back to snake.io. Good. So now let's go back to our GitHub, to our VS Code. Okay, so whenever you install your app and it always asks you to restart, you can see Probot has been set up. Please restart the server. Okay, let's restart the server. Okay, so npm start. Okay. So, and one thing you also take note of, you head over to your .env file, you can actually see that it gets our app ID by itself and also the private key. You can take note. So these are the stuff after installing your app. These two will appear: your app ID and also the private key. So remember, if you go to our index, whenever we open any issue, we want the our Github bot to respond with "I'm learning awesome stuff in English fellowship." So whenever we create any issue in that particular repo that we installed our app, it will send us this stuff. So let's try that and see. So let me head on to my Github account. Okay, so since it's done, let me go back to my Github account. Let me go back to my repository. Remember, the repository was assignments. Like I said, you can also allow it to be installed on all repositories, but I choose to be installed on selected ones, and which is to only work with this assignment. So now, we click on this issue aspects. So when we create an issue, it should send in this comment. It should give us this comment. I'm learning awesome stuff in MLH fellowship. So the bot will send us this. So let's try that and see how it goes. Okay. So when you click on new issue, let's say, okay, it's okay. So let's try that and create and see how it goes. It's new issue, select new issue. So if it works fine, you should see a comment below here telling you I'm learning awesome. Cool. You can see I'm learning awesome stuff in MLH fellowship, which is very, very nice. So you can still come back here and say, okay, let's try to change this. Yeah, let's try to change this. Okay. Okay, okay, let's try that out. First, you have to restart this. Whenever you done, you have to restart. Whenever you made any change, restart. Restart. Okay, make sure it runs this. Start. Okay. Let's wait for it to start. Okay. Connected. To show connected. Okay, so cool. So let's head over to GitHub app. Okay. So the first one work, which is say I'm learning all some stuff, and let's create another new issue and see what comes up. So if everything works fine, you should see this comment, which is I'm happy that I opened um, issue on GitHub. So let's go. Okay. Um, start with so let's take this conference. Cool. You can see it's actually showing us that it's hot. I'm happy that I open an issue on GitHub. Wow. So this is just a basic tutorial of how to create a GitHub bot. So you can actually pick it up from here. Probably maybe whenever someone makes a PRU, who request you want to get in those data, what you can do is to make sure that you create a bot that pulls data from GitHub. So whenever someone makes in a PRU, it gets in those data and you can save it to your own to your database and make use of it. So actually what the bot does is to connect your application with GitHub. So GitHub has tons of API, like you said, so you can actually do that. So this is just for the development purpose. So if you're actually trying to host it and you deploy it to a server, there are tons of applications that are like that. So it's just a basic one. So from there you can kick off and do whatever you want to do with it. Thank you guys. And Yeah, thank you. Thank you.